All right, good morning. Welcome back, everyone. How we doing? Welcome to another beautiful day. Thank you, Chef. Appreciate that. Hope you guys did well yesterday. Not much out there yesterday, but a few nice opportunities, a few pullback opportunities. But overall, yesterday was sort of slow. Pretty slow. Welcome back. All right. Press that like button. September. Thank you, September. Appreciate that. Thank you for the early morning donation. That is appreciated. Thank you for the support. Good morning, guys. Yeah, I mean, yesterday, it wasn't really a very strong move yesterday. It was pretty, didn't really go anywhere, but it's something to recognize, right? The consolidation was very strong, right? And we didn't give back, which I think is very key. We didn't give back any downs. We didn't give back any of that upside move from Friday. So this was, something key to realize. Now, we didn't really go anywhere, but we held very strong above those Friday highs. So this is something to recognize. Something we want to pay attention to today. All right, I made a video about this yesterday. If we start to see that, I don't know if you guys remember, this was back in, let me go back a little bit. Back in like early January, sort of in this area back in November, December, when we were really, really pushing. There was this little period here, but this area, this sort of zone right here, when we were really pushing to the upside, we talked about that. We talked about how the market was just holding above every previous day high, right? It was just sort of stair-stepping to the upside, and that is what you could potentially start seeing here again, right? Because we did hold above that Friday high pretty much all day yesterday. So we'll get into it. We'll get into some more detail there into what the SPY, what the NASDAQ did yesterday. That's what I trade on, the 2-minute time frame. I appreciate that, Hans. Thank you, man. Alrighty. So today, a big day for the market. We do have Netflix earnings after hours. This is something to be paying attention to. This is something to be aware of, right? Netflix could definitely sort of affect the market. So a little bit of caution before you start swing trading things tonight. Before you start entering swing trades into tomorrow. Netflix definitely has a say on what the NASDAQ could look like tomorrow morning when we wake up. Sort of, do we gap up? Do we gap down? Is it strong? Is it weak? Yeah, it's very important. Something to be aware of, right? This is how we protect our portfolios. We know there's potential volatility. We know there's unknowns. And if that's the case, right, then we want to be protective. Yeah, Margin, where you at, man? I was wondering where Margin was today. I was like, where's Margin Call? He's not here first. Welcome, Margin. Better late than never, my friend. All right, so let's get started. Yeah, let's do it. So first is first. First off, economic calendar. Let's pull that up. As you guys probably remember from yesterday, really nothing today on the economic side. We can go here. You can see today we have nothing really. Richmond Manufacturing Index, 10 o'clock. Something you could be aware of. Just wait, pay attention at that 10 o'clock hour. See if there's anything that's sort of volatile. But I don't really expect much at that 10 o'clock hour, guys. So really nothing here on the intraday for the economic side. Tomorrow, you have 9:45 PMI, Manufacturing and Services PMI. This is something that could move the market a little bit, so be careful at 15 minutes into open tomorrow. Obviously, we'll be here on the live stream. Thursday, GDP, unemployment claims, something to be aware of there. On Thursday, we also have Tesla earnings tomorrow, which I'll jump into here in just a second. And then pay attention, no stream on Friday. Sorry, my friends, but I'm going to be traveling on Friday, so going to take that Friday off pretty much. I'll be in the Discord if you guys are in there. I'll be hanging out in the chat with you guys, but I won't be able to be on the live stream. So no live stream Friday. Taking a little Friday off to do some traveling, enjoy the weekend, see some family, see some friends. So. Yeah, Friday, no live stream. Just be aware of that. So I will not be here for the PCE on Friday. All right? And I'll remind you guys every day from this point forward, just so we don't have any, where is the live stream? All right, so that's that. Today, really nothing on the economic side today. All right? What today is Netflix earnings. Okay? So let's pull that up. One second. All righty. Bam. So you guys can see right here, this is the earnings calendar. And today we have Netflix. Netflix after hours. This is the biggest one of today. Tomorrow, Tesla, obviously a big one as well. This morning, we had Verizon, 3M, GE, Johnson & Johnson, Lockheed Martin, Procter & Gamble. So some big ones there. I haven't even looked to see Verizon, nothing. J&J, nothing. P&G, a little bit of upside there. LMT, nothing really. So really nothing from these. I mean, these just don't really move the market. I don't know why I just typed in Macy's. Procter & Gamble, could be something to watch. A little bit of movement there, but I don't really expect much from these earnings to be, sort of affecting the overall market too much. It's always, it's always the big watches on the tech names, man. It's always those big tech names that really. What did I type in? Oh, I typed in V. Sorry, my bad. Verizon a little bit, but it's Verizon, man. I just, if you're still watching these phone carrier names, I don't know. I'm not really interested in trading these names. Just really nothing. Maybe something in your long term, right? Maybe a little dividend stock that you hold, something you could watch for that. But for intraday trading, guys, I really just have no interest in these. So that's that. Today, Netflix, after hours, something to pay attention to. Tomorrow, Tesla. Yeah. RTX. What is it, a little bit of upside on earnings? Yeah, I mean, I'm just not an earnings guy, right? You guys know me. I don't chase, right? My trading is not to, have interest in shiny objects, right? I do the same thing every day. Every single day I walk into the market, I have the same strategy, the same routine, and I don't really go out of my way to pay attention to what's moving on earnings. Some people, this is part of their strategy, right? And it's totally understandable. They look for earnings moves. They look for continuation on earnings moves. They look for certain earnings moves, and they have their own strategy all wrapped around it. I get it. Everyone trades differently. For me, it's just sort of a thing that, for me, it's just noise, and I stay away from it because it's just uncertain to me. But that's just me, right? Everyone trades a little bit differently, and that's totally understandable. I just stick to what I know, and what I know does not include chasing or getting excited over some type of an earnings move. So Netflix, Tesla, that's it. Let's continue. All right, let's jump into it. So let's start with the NASDAQ. Actually, you know what? Do I want to start with the NASDAQ or the ES today? I want to start with the ES today, actually. So let's go ahead and start with the ES today. And I want to share with you something that I think is very important. Actually, and I'm also going to go, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start at the SPX today, actually. And the reason I'm going to start on the SPX is just because it very clearly shows the gap that was formed overnight yesterday into yesterday morning, right? This is why I'm going to start with the SPX. Just really quick, I just want to highlight something that's very clear, right? So this is what I want to highlight. This is Friday's highs, right there. Friday's highs, we closed on the SPX. Let's just call it around 48.40 on the SPX. Now, yesterday, we gapped up, right? We had a gap up, and we saw that early morning push to the upside. Now, all day yesterday, we had a little bit of a slow day, sort of moving lower, sort of consolidating, really didn't get anything. But you have to realize where we consolidated above. And I think this is very important to pay attention to today because this could show you why we move up, but this could also show you why we move lower, right? This could give you insight into either side today, and that is all based off, in my opinion, the Friday highs, right? If the ES, the SPY, the SPX, whatever you're watching, if this maintains above Friday highs, the path of least resistance is to the upside, right? If you continue to hold above Friday highs, you're going to see this market try to continue to the upside. All right. Now, on the flip side, if the market, if the SPX, if the ES, if the SPY break under Friday's lows and you start to see this reject, this is going to be the spot that could cause that sort of trigger to the downside on the market. So all eyes, in my opinion, should be on the Friday highs on the market because yesterday, all we did, yes, we had some downside, but we did not have any relevant downside that's going to cause any kind of continuation, right? This downside that we saw yesterday, in my eyes, is really just a pretty strong consolidation over Friday highs. So this is what I would be keeping eyes on today, guys. This is sort of that key level, in my opinion. If you are holding above that 48.40, right? If you are holding above that 48.40, then I would be looking for upside, right? If you break under it, then I would be paying attention for that rejection. So let's go ahead and jump into the ES, right, and sort of show you where that is on the ES. In my opinion, right, that is sort of this 48.75. That's right in this area. 48.75, the ES held all day yesterday, and I believe that if the ES continues to hold above this 48.75, which is sort of that Friday high, right, we're going to see that upside potential. Now, if you break under this, right, intraday today, and you start to see this reject, if you see yesterday's lows turn into new highs, right, that could be your sign to play the downside, okay? So I think a very, very strong focus on the 48.75 on the ES today, a very strong focus on the 48.40 on the SPX, a strong focus on the 48.75 on the ES. This is really going to be sort of that decision-making level. Do you continue to see this, right? Or do you start to see the break under previous day lows and Friday highs, and do you start to be able to take shorts under that area, right? That's going to be the key. I would personally leave this area alone, okay? You can very clearly see this. You are not going to want to be taking 0 DTE, SPY, and SPX calls or puts in this zone, okay? It's just not going to be a good time. That's like when you pizza, that's when you French fry instead of pizza. You're not going to have a good time. Hopefully you get that reference. So I just don't think it's going to be that great of a trade, right? If you're under 48.90 and you're above 48.75, you can very clearly see this chop channel that we've been sort of stuck in. I would want us to get out of this for actual continuation on the market. So 48.90, definitely a level to be paying attention to. We rejected that level multiple times yesterday. You can see it right here, 48.90, 48.90, 48.90. We're sort of rejecting it right now as well. So 48.90, big level to watch above for supply. If you can get above that level and hold above it, you'll probably push into the 4,900, right? That'll be your next upside move. And if you break under, right? If you break under this 48.75, that'll be your downside move towards that 48.60, okay? But we need to get out of this range, right? Yeah, nothing wrong. I totally agree with that, Finga, right? Nothing wrong with trading in the range. But, right, this is very key, and this is what causes a lot of people problems, right? People that trade in the range, they don't understand and they don't have low expectations in the range, right? You get some traders that will, long this 48.75, and their hope on the trade is that you move up, right? The hope of the trade is that you break out and you continue to new highs, right? But that cannot be your expectations, right? That cannot be your expectations if you are trading in this range, right? If you are trading in this range, you have to have the proper expectations. You have to understand that if you do long this low, you're only looking for this move right here, right? And if you short this high, you are only looking for this move, right? And that's it. Because when you start to get that, that sort of greedy mentality or that expectation of continuation, you short this high, right? And you're expecting maybe this, that is when this happens to you, right? That is the key, right? And I totally agree. There's nothing wrong with trading a channel like that, but you can't be trading a channel and expecting a breakout, right? Because that's when you sort of get, right? For example, let's say you longed here yesterday. You were up very nicely. You didn't take profits. Bam, straight back down. Then let's say, hey, I'm going to long it again, right? You get a nice profit. You don't take profits. Bam, straight back down, right? And so this just keeps happening to you because you're not taking profits in the channel. So just a little, that's key. Nothing wrong with trading the channel, but expectations need to be correct. $1,000. Someone asks, where was Friday? Probably. All right, let's continue. So same analysis on the SPY, right? Same analysis on the SPY. You can see right here, we have previous Friday highs right here, right? See that? Friday highs. And look at what it did. So you have the Friday highs, and we held that level all day yesterday. So that is a strong hold, right? Even though the SPY didn't really go anywhere, that's a pretty strong hold above the previous day highs, which was the Friday highs around that 482.70 level, right? That's very clear. Pay attention to that. As long as the SPY is above this level, I would assume that there's strength to the upside. The upside supply that we need to be aware of, number one, is around this 484.20, right? That's the number one. That's sort of a shorter term one. That's like our 48.90, right? We can see those rejections here, right here, right here, right around that 484.20. If we can break above that, we will push into the 485 highs, right up here. So you got 48.40, 484, sorry, 48.40, 484, 484.20, right there, and you got 485, okay? If you can break above those, you can hold above those today, you're going to have continuation, right? That's what you need to look for. You need to look for holds above those supplies. If you reject these levels, if you reject here, you'll likely come back into that yesterday low, right? And that's where you have to look to see if that demand steps up. If we break under yesterday low, if we break back under Friday highs, that is where you get your downside continuation, I believe, towards that 41.50. Okay? So very clear channels here today, but we have to respect the levels. We have to respect them. We have to understand that they're there. We can't be hoping for breakouts of those levels until the market actually shows us that. So in my opinion, today, an interesting trade that you could look for is a break and hold above this little 484.20, right? If you start to see that, that could be a nice long into the 485. That could be something to watch for today. If you move back down into the Friday low, into the Friday highs and the yesterday lows, this could be a potential demand long idea, right? Back at those yesterday lows. And then the only short idea that I would get any interest in today, which would have to be a very short-term short idea, would be a break under the previous day lows, right? A break under the previous day lows right here and a break under the Friday highs would really be the only short entry that I would have interest in today. Okay? Let's go to the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ is a very similar chart, right? You can see right here, we have those highs here. That's number one. We have to have that on our charts, 17,570. We have the previous rejections from the midday around this 17.5, right? So this is very key, right? Look at what the NASDAQ did yesterday. So yesterday, early morning, we had a hold at 17.5, right? A hold at 17.5. Now you can see right here, we turned that into a rejection on the intraday. So that 17.5 is very important. So right now we can see the NASDAQ is moving into 17.5. So what do we need to see today for more upside? We need to see the NASDAQ hold above 17.5. And if it does, you will get your push into that 17.570. But we have to hold above that 17.5 right here for that continuation to happen. Okay? That's what you're trying to do at the very moment. Now, the demand below is very clear around this 17.440. And I believe there's a level here around 17.4 as well. Okay? But we can see, right, previous day lows right here, previous day lows, and we're still holding that. So if you move back into this level today, right, don't be shorting right here, right? This is not a short at this level. If you reject here and you start shorting in this area, right, you're shorting into demand. You're shorting into the lows that held very nicely yesterday and that are holding in the pre-market today. If you try to short this 17.5 today, right, if you try to short this level right here at 17.5, you have to be a profit taker into the 17.440, right? This is your profit taking zone. Okay? So 17.5, yeah, I see 518. You could sort of have that marked out right around that 520. It's that sort of pre-market low from yesterday. I think you could have that mapped out. But I believe that above 17.5 is sort of going to clear up, you know, sort of a upside move, maybe into this supply high. But yeah, I mean, between 17.5 and 17.570 could get a little choppy, right? You're trading back in some of this chop from yesterday morning. But I think a hold over 17.5 will be something that sort of sets up a move, because The reason I say that is because of this little reaction here yesterday, right? The reason I say that is because we saw 17.5 hold early morning yesterday, and it then turned into a rejection yesterday. So I believe that if you get back above that, right, this could then sort of move in this channel, right? So I think 17.5 is your watch today. Keep an eye on that level. If you can hold above that upside, if you reject here, I'd assume downside into that 17.440, okay? But you can very clearly see the levels, guys. They're very clear on the charts here today. You just have to trust them. You have to trust them, and you have to play between them. All right, that's sort of what I'm watching. All right, let's go to the QQQ. Very similar on the QQQ here. You can see that 421 demand has very strongly held, right here, 421, 421. So that is definitely your demand low on the QQQ. I'm watching sort of this 423 level here today. That's sort of this rejection point that came in yesterday. So I'm going to watch this 423 right here. I would like to see the QQQ hold above that 423. And then that would probably give me some confidence that we can move back into that 424, 425. It's not perfect here in the Qs, right? You can see it could be a few different levels. You could have this 422.40. You can have this 422.50 level here, right? This little pre-market high, this little after-hour pre-market high, which we are above right now. But I think I'm going to watch this little rejection from yesterday. See that? See that 423 rejection, which was also that little pre-market low right there? I think that 423 level is pretty important here on the QQQ. So that is going to be my watch. I would like to see the QQQ above 423. And if I get that, right, if I see a hold above 423, then I think you'll probably start to slide towards that high, around that 424.50. I'm just going to put this at the exact high. You have the pre-market high here at like 424.35. You have the exact highs around 424.70. So it's pretty much the whole range, right, guys? It's not going to be a perfect level. It's a range, and it's all up in these highs, right? Anywhere between, let's say, this pre-market high and then these intraday highs right here, okay? What do I mean by hold above? I would watch my YouTube videos, guys. This is a hold above right here, all right? I'll show you really quickly a hold above example right here. So 416 was a key level intraday on what is this? This is Friday morning, right? Let's all take a second and look at this intraday action on the QQQ. All right, right here, you have 416, right? And you come into the morning. This is the morning. This is until 11 o'clock, and this is 11 o'clock and on, right? And beyond. So you come into the morning Friday, and you see a really strong rejection continue to step up at this 416, right? Now look at what happens midday. Right, this is very clear stuff, guys. This is what you need to pay attention to, and really try to stay patient for. You can see you had early morning 416 rejections, very clear. Later in the day, you break over 416, right? You do not chase this upside, okay? Why do you not chase this upside, right? Why is this irrelevant? This is the move. Right, so this is how I think about trading, and I think this is how you should think about trading. This move over the rejection point is that trigger, right? That's the trigger. That gets the brain moving, right? That gets me interested. That breakout is now giving me interest to look for longs, right? Okay, we have broken the level. I'm interested now for longs if we see this level turn into support. But let me wait for a pullback and let me see it prove that demand's going to step up. What do we do about a half an hour later, right? We break, we pull back, and it just does not get any cleaner than the candles that step up right here. You have a break of a key level. You do not chase the upside. This is what gets you interested, but you're waiting for an entry now, right? You're waiting for an entry. And here is your entry. Bam. Break and retest of the previous rejection point. Sexy, right? Sexy. So that's exactly what you're looking for, right? if you get a breakout today, wait for that thing to come back, wait for that thing to hold, right? And look to long that on a 423 hold. That's sort of how I trade. That's how I'd recommend trading. All right. Let's quickly go to the IWM because the IWM is doing exactly what we talked about yesterday. A beautiful hold over that 192, a strong upside move over 192, and look at where the IWM is now over. The IWM is now over 197, right? And this could be big for the IWM. All right, if we zoom out on the IWM, this is actually a pretty sexy, pullback long that has been showing here. Look at the daily chart, all right? Pullback, gap fill, and look at the sort of strength that we're starting to see here on the IWM. So if we go to the hourly chart and we get more time, this hold over 197 is very key. And if we maintain today over 197 and we hold above that 20 SMA, this is going to move to 200, right? If we hold above this 197, right here, and right here, if we maintain that level and we hold above the 20 SMA on the Russell, this is going to be a pullback long opportunity to be looking for today for a move into 200. So this is a perfect example here, guys, right? Look what you just got. You got your breakout of a supply level, right? So what are you looking for today? You're looking for the Russell to do a little bit of this, right? Start to maintain, start to pull back to that 197, hold that 20 SMA, see if that 197 demand steps up. And if it does, right, look for that long around that 197 demand for that push into 200. Okay? So very nice there on the IWM. I'd watch 197 and I'd watch 200. All right. So before we move on, I have a little bit of an announcement to make. I have moved I've moved the Options Insider Trading community over to WAP. WAP is a pretty cool marketplace for, selling communities and some, skills that you have. And I really like the platform. I like how clean it is for the customer side. So if you guys are, let's say someone signs up for the community, I think it's extremely clean. You can manage your subscription right on the website. I could have, I can send education to your dashboard. I really like how it sets it all up. And in honor of that, right, I'm going to go ahead and offer just a short-term little discount to try to get some people, if you have been interested in joining the community. I'm going to have, some people, I'm going to use that discount to try to see if some people want to join. So if you guys are interested, this is the new WAP dashboard here for the community. It's pretty cool, very easy. You can have the technicals only. If you're just looking for technicals, this is the premium access to the group, and it's all a very clean dashboard. And I'm going to post, you can see my face right there. So I'm going to transition everything over to WAP is the company. It's a pretty cool website. Check it out. You can see, what it's all about. And, so discount right now. If you guys are interested, use code WHOP, W-H-O-P. It's down on the bottom of your screen for 10% off if you guys are interested in joining. But, yeah, just wanted to give you guys an update there. So I'm going to be primarily here, and this is going to be where the access to the community is. And, so that's that. 10% off. It's going to be running for the next 2 weeks, that discount code. So if you guys are interested, check it out. That's all. That's it. That's my only self promo of the day. Okay. You guys know it is Discord. It connects to Discord. That's just it's the in between, right? It's the in between. WAP connects you to Discord. No, Discord does not go anywhere. WAP is connecting you to Discord. It's just a clean dashboard for you guys. So very cool. Check it out. Check it all out. I mean, do your own interest. Do your own due diligence. No, the Discord's there. Discord's not going anywhere. So how this works, right, is there's you, right? There's a payment processor, and then there's Discord. Okay? Everyone calm down. I'm confused. There is you, There is WAP and there is Discord. Okay, there's a middle person in between what it automates you to the Discord, right? There has to be something in between. Where do I connect WAP to TOS? Oh man. Sorry to confuse everyone, okay? It's in the middle, okay? It's just right. If instead of, for example, right, before it's a company called LaunchPass, now it's WAP. It's a different processor. That's all it is. It all just connects to Discord. Okay. It's just much cleaner for you guys, and provides you a lot more clarity. Okay. So like if you want to cancel your membership, right? For example, I have people messaging me not being able to figure out how to cancel a membership. This makes it very easy, right? Very easy. It's clear as day, right? You have your own dashboard. You can manage your payments. You can manage your subscriptions. I can send videos there for you to check out, right? If you're a member, I could, pop in, like, let's say a little YouTube video for you guys only. So yeah, it's a very clean dashboard, and yeah, that's all. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Hold on. Man. Man, do I need a shot of that. All right. So, here we go. Let's get into some stocks. No, guys, if you're an existing member, you don't need to do anything, okay? I guess I've just confused the whole world. All it is a payment processor. That's all it is. It's just somewhere to sign up for the group. That's all it is, okay? It's a way to sign up for the Discord community. But it is a cleaner way, and it will make the customer experience much better, okay? That's all it is. It's all about customer experience. That's all it's going to do for you. All right. So, let's continue. Tesla. Let's get into some stocks. And by the way, if you guys could, press that like button for me. If you could, press that like button. We got 2,000 people here, 800 likes. If you guys could take 1 second, press that like button, that would be great. All right. So, am I 100% Italian? I mean, my grandma and grandpa are from Naples, Italy. They came over to the States on Ellis Island. So I'm a third generation. My mom is first, or I guess second generation. Third. My parents would be second. I would be third, I guess. My grandparents came on the boat from Ellis Island. Or to Ellis Island. All right, Tesla. So, guys, tomorrow, we have earnings on Tesla, right? IV is going to be high. Contracts are going to be expensive. And the overall movement could be sort of subdued. So just be aware of that, right? Just be a little bit aware of that. Cautious on Tesla today. Yesterday, what a rejection of 217. I mean, absolutely beautiful rejection of 217, right? Absolutely perfect. So that is a really nice level to watch. And you can see that even with that strength yesterday, we still got downside, right? Tesla was still so weak compared to the market yesterday. So we should look for the same thing today, right? Let's look for 212 rejections. Let's look for 217 rejections, right? Let's look for the 217 rejection play, and let's look for the 212 rejection play, right? So those are the two levels I would be watching today, 212, 217, right? If we get a rejection or a rejection, those would be probably the only plays that I'd be interested in, right? Knowing how weak Tesla has been, I'm not going to be looking for a move that really withstands itself. I did long Tesla off 212 yesterday. You guys know that from the group. We caught this entire move yesterday, which was really nice. But we were taking profits pretty early. And the reason for this was because I just don't trust Tesla to the upside. I don't trust it, right? I was able to catch a nice long off demand and sort of scale out, but I just don't trust it to really hold itself up. So for that reason, right, I'd be a little bit more interested in where we're going to reject For me, I would watch this 212 area, and I'd watch this 217 today. All right. NVIDIA. So NVIDIA did something very clean yesterday. If you guys remember from the live stream, we talked about where's my favorite long opportunity of the day. This was straight from the pre-market live stream. If you were here, you should remember this. We talked about the 592, right? We said that we have a 592 previous high. We have a 592 low, right? And we held that level beautifully yesterday. If you go watch my video from yesterday, you will see how I traded NVIDIA. I was adding longs into 592. This is straight from the pre-market live stream. Now, I want to make something clear, right? Because, it may look like I was adding into NVIDIA with no plan, right, in that trade, because I was getting in NVIDIA multiple times during the day. I was pretty much adding the entire day, right? And I was adding to an amount that I was comfortable with. It was aggressive, without a doubt, very aggressive. But if I was to take a loss, right, and if NVIDIA proved me wrong, it would be a loss that I would be comfortable with, right? That's okay. I get it. I understand why it didn't work. But, all right, if you have a trading plan, you come into a day and you say, I'm going to look for ads around that 592. I don't see a problem with getting in a little bit early. This is something I've talked about recently. And starting to average into that trade, right? Little by little, take a little stab on every big pullback. Take a little stab, right? When those option contracts sort of get deteriorated, I can't say that word very well. When the option contracts really take a hit on, let's say, a quick aggressive downside, take a little stab, right? Take a little bit of an entry point. This is what I was doing yesterday, right? Every time NVIDIA had aggressive downside, I'd take a little stab on some calls because my game plan was long off 592 all day, right? This was something I very, very in-depth talked about yesterday in the live stream. And it worked out beautifully, right? It absolutely worked out beautifully. So just, if you got a game plan, if you're trusting a certain level, and the key is, do not over leverage yourself here, right? This is the key, guys, because I want to make sure everyone's clear. If you start to add into NVIDIA, right, you come into the day and you say, hey, 592, I want to be long off that level. This is a very interesting pullback long level that I'm looking for today. Now, here's where problems arise, okay? This is where problems occur for traders. You start to add, but you get in too heavy too quick, right? You're getting way too heavy way too quick, okay? You're getting in too much size, and by the time it gets to your level, you're down more than you're comfortable with, right? You're down more than you're comfortable with, okay? This is where problems arise. This is what you have to understand. This is called risk management. This is called position size management, right? If you're thinking about, longing 592 and you take a few stabs there, right? You have to make sure that you are not over leveraged and freaking out by the time it gets to your level. Okay? This is very key and something to be paying attention to when you're trading. All right. So today, NVIDIA, there's two levels I'm watching. Number one is the gap fill level at 594.80. Number two is, again, that 592. Okay? Those are my two levels to watch. To the upside, it's around this 600, right? You can definitely see that the 600 psych level is causing rejections. And then, of course, it's this high around this 602. Okay? So 600, 602, and then I'm going to be looking to see what happens on these pullbacks today. All right? AMD. AMD, very weak again yesterday. Extreme weakness on AMD yesterday after open. So let's zoom into AMD and let's take a look. All right, we can see right now you are starting to reject this little 168.50 level. So I would probably want AMD over this 168.50 for any type of interest on the upside. Now, what would I be interested in today for potential longs? If we can pull back to this 164.50, I would be interested in that long, right? That would be something I'm definitely interested in. So if we can pull back to that previous all-time high, right in this area, right in here, right where we sort of held in the pre-market, if we see something like this today, I would be interested to see if that turns into a long in this area, okay? That's really, to be honest, that might be my only long interest on AMD today. I don't know if I'm interested in longing into some of these rejection points, right? Right here, and this 170 from yesterday. I don't think I'm that interested in playing long into these areas, right? These look sort of tough up here. So if you get over 170, maybe for a move into that 173 area, right? But I would be a little bit more interested in AMD to sort of pull back and then see if that demand steps up here. That'd probably be my only long interest. You could look for shorts off this 168 and 170 level. All right, let's go to Meta. Oh, yeah, it's doing it. Fuck. Yeah, so I took a nice loss on Meta yesterday, and I just got the level wrong, guys. That's pretty much what it was. So I was looking for Meta to pull back to, like this 382, right in this area here. I was also looking for it to pull back to like this 384. So I had a few levels here, like 382. I had 384. I was sort of adding into these pullbacks because I was looking for Meta to continue to the upside, right? Without a doubt. It was above the all-time highs. It's been very strong. And I was saying to myself, where are the pullbacks on Meta that I could long? And so my first long entry was 384, right there. It was good for a little bit, but I got pulled back on and I was down. Then I added a little bit more at 382 because I was like, okay, this could be a nice hold here, right? I like that little area to be potentially longing some more. Then eventually it broke 382 and I just stopped out, right? I took my loss and I took a nice little loss there. So it looks like, right, it's starting to look like to me that my idea is correct, right? But my level was not. And this is what I talked about in a previous video. Garbage in, garbage out, right? We are trading a machine. Our strategy is a machine. And if we put shit levels in it, it's going to spit out shit results, right? And so yesterday, I had some shit levels on Meta, right? That's all it is. And so, yes, it looks like the level that we really wanted to be long off of was this little pre-market high from Friday and this low from Friday as well around that 380.5, right? That looks to be where Meta is starting to sort of curl back to the upside, right? That looks to be interesting. So to the upside today, right, I'm going to be looking to see, I think in my opinion at this point, I need Meta over 386. And if it does hold above that, then I would look for a long over this level here, over 386. So that's going to be my level to watch right here, right? You see this, 386, 386. I'm going to want Meta over 386. And if I get that, right, then I'll look for that pullback and that long opportunity, okay? So Meta 386, the previous all-time high was where again? Previous all-time high was 384.33. 384.33. That's the previous all-time high. Oh, you're right at it. You're right at it. Yeah, you're right at the previous all-time high. I'm actually going to put a name on that level. Previous all-time high. So you're right at previous all-time high there. I would want us over 386, right? That would give me the clarity for upside. 386. Okay. All right, real quick into Amazon because I just want to share with you just sort of how Amazon's still stuck under this high here, guys. Amazon's still stuck under this 157.25. It's holding above this little 20 SMA. So I would probably leave Amazon alone in here, guys. I just don't really see the action. I would wait to see if Amazon can break over that high or break under this 20 SMA low. Okay, real quick one there on Amazon. I just haven't been interested in this name. Google. I actually am interested in Google today because what did Google do yesterday? Google filled the upside gap and then some, a little bit at the end of the day, but I think maybe a little bit of panic end of the day. So you can see right here, right? Google had a gap up right in here, right? And yesterday, it pretty much just filled that gap. And so today, if I see Google be able to reclaim this 148 level and start to hold above this gap fill area, I would be interested in some upside here, right? Some upside, a little bit of continuation at that 148. So I'm going to be watching 148 on Google, and I'm going to be watching that 147 demand, right? If Google can get back above that Friday little high and can get back above this gap fill area all in here, right? This whole area here. If it can hold above that at 148 and I start to see a demand step up, that could be an interesting long entry, something I will absolutely be watching today. All right. All right. Apple. Apple very strong again yesterday. holding above this 193. You see this 193 level? This is key, right? This 193 level is important. Let me show you why. Okay, 193. I got to get a little bit more time here. 193 is a previous high here and multiple previous lows, right? Multiple previous lows. And you can see yesterday, look at that 193 hold. So as long as Apple's over 193, this thing could hold strong, right? So watch 193 on Apple. The supply above looks to be around this 195, and then you have some highs around this 196, okay? If Apple can clear 196, I think that's where it gets really strong, right? A move over 196, a hold above some of these previous lows here, I think would really start to move Apple. So 195, 196 are some tough levels above. Be careful of those if you are long, but pay attention to how this thing maintains 193. That's a very important hold here, above 193, right? That is actually an engulfing move of the entire Apple downside, okay? Pay attention to what I just said. Remember that Apple downside that everyone was panicking about, right? That started, where did that downside start? That downside started right here on a rejection of 193. So Apple has engulfed all that downside, right? And it is now holding above the level that created the downside, and that's 193. So very key hold there at 193. Pay attention to that. Microsoft did everything it needed to do yesterday, right? A little bit of a consolidation day, a little bit of a slow day, but what did Microsoft do, guys? Look at this chart, okay? We'll take a quick look at this chart. What is Microsoft doing? Previous highs, lows, and lows, right? Look at how perfect this is. Look how clear this is. This is a double top high that has now turned into a double bottom low, okay? This is textbook market structure. This is a structural move to the upside, right? You turn a double top high into a double bottom low. As long as Microsoft is above 394, you are going to continue to structure here and potentially just sort of structure to the upside. Now, if Microsoft breaks 394, then it invalidates, right? So all about 394 on Microsoft. Upside supply looks a little heavy around this 398.50, obviously up in that 400 as well. So probably you'd want this over 398.50 for upside. But as long as you are holding this 394, the structure looks good for upside. Okay. What's Boeing looking like today? Okay, Boeing's breaking that 200 SMA. Not much interest there. What else? So the other thing to pay attention to, guys, if that IWM, right, something to look for. If that IWM starts to get strong, the small caps are going to be strong as well. Make sure you understand that. So, for example, look how Square is holding back above this 66. That's a very strong hold and a very strong hold of the 50 SMA. If the Russell's strong again today, Square is going to go up, right? Let's say, for example, Roku. This is another one, sort of the two top small caps in my opinion. Roku, right? Holding back above some of these highs right here around that 87. Right? You can see like this little 87 high, this little triple top high from right here. 1, 2, 3. Roku holding above that. Roku will be strong if there is strength on the IWM, okay? Pay attention to it. Netflix, guys, it has earnings today. You do you, man. Netflix, I am not going to talk about, especially it being Netflix. I mean, it's the same levels, right? 500 supply, 494. Guys, you have earnings after hours. Netflix is a beast of a stock. Please be careful. We'll go SMCI and coin. Oh, man, that's an interesting hold on SMCI. Wow. Ooh, is that interesting? That's the Friday high that we reclaimed yesterday, and we are holding above in the pre-market. And boy, does that look like a little flag to me. That looks like a little flag to me, my friends. So, yeah, if SMCI is above 430, I could definitely see this continuing. I could absolutely see that continuing. That's a pretty interesting little formation there on SMCI. Look at that little hold at 430. Keep an eye on that. Coin just stuck. It needs to either break under 118.40 or get some kind of life here, man. It's just sort of stuck. I don't got much for you on coin. Looks like it's stuck under this 130 area, some of these previous lows, and holding above this 118. Let's take a quick look at the futures before we head out. So right now, what are we doing? Okay, so this is very key right now, actually. Look at this, right? Do we hold above this 17.5 right here? If we do, oh, look at that candle, right? This is what you want to start watching. Look at this candle right here. Watch this, okay? This is like live, sort of live analysis for you. Watch this candle, right? If this candle starts to wick, this is going to be a little break and retest that could set up more upside. That is something you're watching. Look at this wick right here. See that wick? Where did that wick? 17.5. Where's this starting to wick? 17.5, right? Look at this. So watch 17.5 there. ES, little bit of, again, another little reaction at 48.90. We need to get above this level. Yeah, you're starting to wick here, right? Pay attention to this. Very key. All right, guys. Once again, if you want to check out the Discord community, I am running a little 10% off just in light of us getting on WAP. So if you guys want to check it out, down below, it will gain you access to the Discord community where we trade live every single day. Feel free to check that out. Thank you guys for all the support. Thank you for everything. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it provides value to you. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the live stream today. If you guys could, press that like button for me before you head out. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here. We do this every single day starting at 8 a.m. besides this Friday, unfortunately. So no live stream this Friday. I will be traveling. I'll miss you guys. But with that said, good luck today. Watch that 17.5 on NASDAQ, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.